My commute to work today is going to be brutal. That was a brutal commute.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having an amazing day. This week I have two interesting presentations. One of them is in Tucson and I'm speaking at a real estate industry conference that's happening down in Tucson. And the other one is in New York City. I'm speaking on Friday at NYU. And in both cases, part of my presentation is going to focus on who is the future worker? What are the things that they care about and think about? How will people work differently in the future? Oh, and I'm also going to my first photography conference. Photo Plus is taking place in New York. It's the first time I'm visiting a photo conference, so that's gonna be cool. So as I was preparing for these two completely different presentations, there was a central theme around remote work. Remote work is quietly changing lots of aspects of our life. It's changing real estate, it's changing transportation, it's changing how we set up communities, and these changes have happened slowly over time. And we're starting to notice now because it's growing in popularity, both as the worker excited about remote work and as organizations are starting to deal and accept the idea of employees working remotely. It's having such an impact that some workspaces are starting to look more like homes, and some homes are starting to look more like workspaces. Some states are even offering remote workers incentives to move to their state. At one point, Vermont was offering $10,000 to get remote workers to move to Vermont and work from Vermont. I've been working full-time as a remote employee for the last 11 years. So I think I have some insight into the whole concept of remote work. And so I think I've figured out how to effectively be a remote worker. And that's what I want to talk about this week. What are the benefits? What are the cons? And then I want to talk about strategies that you should implement to make remote work as effective as possible for you and the organization that you work for. Turn off the studio lights. All right, picked up my car that was in the shop and now I'm on my way down to Tucson. Gotta change. Hi, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming down.
Yeah, sure.
We really appreciate that.
Space you got down
Oh,
here.
this will be cool.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to Modern Studios.
That was a cool space. I guess I always make fun of other people's commutes because they have to travel to work. In reality, my commute's the worst because for me to work, I have a multiple hour commute on multiple vehicles flying across the country so that I can work. I shouldn't be making that much fun of people with commutes. Because in the long run, when you add it all up at the end of the year, in terms of who commutes the most or who's got the longest commute times, I think I lose.
Swear I never lied to you. Swear I never treat you bad. See, I would never do it to you. What you did behind my back. Swear I'll never smile for you.
Lane just got out of work, so I'm gonna go pick her up and we're gonna go grab some Chinese food. Because when I'm in New York, that's all I eat. It's pizza and Chinese food.
Looking for revenge.
Huh? I would have my camera out all the time here.
So can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. You wanted her, so just give me what.
All right, so I am headed down to NYU, and then I'm going to, Elaine and I are gonna go to the photo path, whatever the photo conference is at the convention center. So we're gonna go do that.
Wasted too much heart on you. Wish I learned to use my head.
The guard downstairs says you can't take pictures, and you walk in and there's a place where it says take a selfie. I love New York so much. It's just, New York's about no.
Friend, I just want this.
So people participate in remote work for lots of different reasons. Some people say it's a work-life balance issue. Some people say it's about commuting. In some cases, it's about living away from the location where you work. It's people moving away from cities, expensive cities where the cost of living is high, and moving to more remote areas or different cities and still continuing the work that they do. In a study I read, the top reasons for telecommuting were 1, work-life balance, increasing productivity and focus, and less commute. Those are the reasons. I am picking up Elaine and we're going over to the Photo Plus, Photo Bomb, or whatever the conference is called.
You don't wanna talk it out.
Dog model.
Talking feels pointless. Still it happens every night. You know that I need you.
What?
Those tacos?
Yeah.
Those tacos are the best tacos.
It'd be so hard to quit, but every night that we explore, wish I could walk out that door. Hate that I need you.
So beautiful day in New York City. It's cool, it's crisp, it's fall, and it's festive. There's always something going on in New York. I'm sitting in the middle of 8th Avenue. I'm about to go pick up Elaine. We're gonna go to Central Park because it's a sunny day. I wanna see what the park looks like, so we're gonna go take some pictures there. Okay, so study after study shows you that there's a benefit to remote working. People who work remotely will say they have a better life balance. Lots of people report that they feel like they can concentrate more on work because they're not distracted by all the things that happen in an office. So obviously there's a lot of pros to remote working. There's flexible schedule, the ability to work from anywhere, less distractions, no commute, being able to work in your underwear. There's lots of benefits to it. But there are some cons. For some people, the ability to work from home can cause loneliness. Just unplugging from work in general, the lines are blurred between work and your personal life. The ability to communicate and collaborate with other people in the office is lots harder, and the ability to stay motivated and to do things that keep you focused on your work and not distracted by what's going on at home, right? There's lots of those things. So I want to talk about strategies to deal with those things, because there are approaches that you can use for that. But now, I'm gonna go pick up Elaine and we're gonna go shoot pictures in New York and enjoy the beautiful day in New York.
But somehow it's too hard to walk away now. Running out of second chances. Whoa, you keep taking.
So many pictures.
Cause I don't wanna do this any longer. But somehow it's too hard to walk away now. Yeah, all I ever wanted was to make us work.
So yesterday was awesome. Went to Central Park, walked around Broadway, took pictures, had pizza. The plan was that today I'd wake up before my flight out to Phoenix and go out on Broadway and film the last segment that I had. And it is pouring rain in New York City, so that's not what we're gonna do. Instead, going to brunch with Elaine and Michaela, getting on my flight back to Phoenix, and then I will just finish this video in the studio tonight.
Whoa, you keep taking me for granted. Whoa, cause I don't wanna do this any longer. But somehow it's too hard to walk away now.
The trip to New York went well. Had a great time at NYU, had a great time taking pictures in New York. But I want to close out this video on remote working. The first issue that people bring up is distractions. I hear from people all the time, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you work from home. I couldn't do it. There's too many distractions. I would do laundry, I'd clean this, I'd fix that, I would take apart the garage. And the funny thing is that I have the opposite reaction when I go and spend any time in an office. I'm like, I don't know how you people do this. It's just all the distractions, the lunches, the people bugging you, the pool table, the commuting, all that stuff is just so distracting to me. If you work from home just one day a month, you work from home on Fridays, that kind of experience you have with telecommuting, you're not getting the same experience as someone who really works remotely. I remember when I first started, you do deal with those things. You deal with, oh, I gotta do laundry, oh, the dishwasher, oh, I should fix that. And then that over time, as you do this remote work more and more, you realize that this is your workspace. And so now I can walk into the kitchen and the kitchen can be on fire and I would just pour my coffee and then walk back out. I don't get distracted by anything that's going on in the house. Issue number 2, there doesn't seem to be any clear distinction between your work life and your home life when you work from home. People who work remotely tend to work longer hours. If you're working from the same space, how do you know when you stop working? If you're sitting on the couch and you're working all day and then you're done working and you're still sitting on the couch, how does it not still feel like you're working? It can be easy to lose track of time. There's many times where I will look up and it's 7 o'clock at night and I'm like, wait, it was just 11:30. That can happen. There is a methodology for separating your work life and your home life. And the answer is space. When I first started working from home, I sat on my couch just like everyone else. Then I graduated to a desk in the corner of my living room. Then a room in the home, the spare bedroom. And now the last 5 or 6 years has been in a separate space. It makes such a difference to have a different space. If you work from home and you don't have your own space to work, set up a space in the corner and let that just be your workspace. Don't live and work in the same space, even if you have a small space. Use space, whether you have a lot of it or a little of it, to create a separation between your work life and your home life. Also, try not to do any work in your home space. If it's 7 o'clock at night and I need to go to dinner, I go eat dinner. If I need to do more work, I come back out here. I don't bring my laptop in the house to work on the couch. Issue number 3, out of sight, out of mind. This is definitely a real issue. If you're not in the office, you're not seen. If you're not seen, you're not thought of. If you're not thought of, then when projects or programs or things come up, you might not come to mind. The takeaway here is that you have to work at getting the attention. So make sure you're setting up weekly meetings with your team, if not daily meetings with the people that you're working closest with, so that you're in mind the whole time. Visit your office as much as you can. Don't go just for that all-day meeting where you sit in an office and nobody else gets to see you. Go and add a couple days so that you can actually hang out in that space with the people who work there. If you pay attention to those top issues, you can do well with remote working, and you get to work from home in your sweatpants. Unless you play in the NBA, then you get to work in sweatpants all the time, I guess. What are the things that you do? What are the things that you've learned working remotely that you can share with everyone else? All right? Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh my God, the guy's on the sidewalk. That's awesome.